Hey, folks, it is I, Jason Hyatt, with the Shooters Rest TV. I almost did it. I almost said radio. It's a hard habit to break. But you're on the CTW TV network. One of these days I'll get that tongue twister out of my mouth without messing it up. And I swear no alcohol is involved because this is firearms. We don't drink with firearms. So today I'm going to play a little game for all our watchers. And I'm going to ask 3 questions now. LP Bodie Swims. Hi. All right. I'm going to ask all my listeners 3 questions. And then I have a bunch of these TSR stickers still floating around. So whoever answers 2 out of the 3 questions the most accurately by the end of the show, I will send them a sticker. So here's the 3 questions. Is a 380 ACP the same as a 9mm? Remember, as accurately as possible. Put it in the chat. Is a 40 cal the same as a 10mm? Is a 9x21 the same as a 9mm Parabellum? Those are the 3 questions. You have the entire show to answer them as accurately as possible, and I will send you a sticker. You only have to get 2 out of the 3 right. Just mind you on that one. All right, so LP Bodie, I do not care as far as what I think about last night with Chris Rock and Will Smith. Don't care. They're Hollywood actors. They're going to do what they do. They'll stage what they want to stage. They're going to get away with it. It was assault, no matter how you look at it. But I don't care. Actors hold no sway in my life, and I choose not to pay attention to them, especially when they're liberal idiots that want to take away your firearms. Or at least mine, because it's obvious that I own them. So, and that's all we're going to talk about was the wonderful, I don't even know what stupid award show it was. I don't watch them, never have, never will. So, but I guess I should put these questions in the comments so everybody can go and look. I'll just say them one more time. I'll do it again at about halftime. Is a 380 the same as a 9mm? Is a 40 cal the same as a 10mm? Is a 9x21 the same as a 9mm Parabellum? Answer them as closely or as accurately as possible, and I'll send you a sticker. There we go. All right. So we didn't do a show last week because I was in Florida. Was it last week? I can't remember. We skipped a show at one point. And we were talking about the wonderful world of training. And we're going to jump back on that little bandwagon a little bit. Biologically speaking, or... Uh-oh. All right. Now I'm confused. Yes, Don, I understand. You know all 3 answers, but we'll refrain. Hey, brother, we still love you. So, that was Don Logan from Barefoot Knives and Guns down in Florida. So, if you're down in Florida, go see him. He'll take care of all your firearms needs. And before we get to training, and this, will kind of comes up because if a particular person whose birthday is today also does some firearms training as a business or a hobby or however you want to look at it, however he looks at it. Now that'd be our very own Mr. Bear from Cooking with Mr. Bear, Chris Otterson. I don't know how old he is, And I'm sure he's younger than dirt, but older than the grass growing in it. So, got to say happy birthday to Chris. And we'll probably yell at him again towards the end of the show because he's just now getting off of work and driving home. So, this is how it works. Yep. So, there it is. Yes. We're all saying hi, Don. Yes. Always. All right. So the thing about training, though, does come up because it's not just all about firearms training. And we've talked about this on my radio show in the past. And a lot of people go, well, I go and shoot all the time. I go to these classes all the time. I shoot competitions or all this fun stuff. And then they look like a 55-gallon drum. And they're out of shape. I don't care. It doesn't matter really how big you are, as if you can move your weight and function. Training is also taking care of your body. So it isn't just, hey, I can shoot fast. I can shoot well. You're not always going to be the first one to shoot. So sometimes you have to take that into consideration. I do a lot of teaching on shooting from retention. And shooting retention is down and dirty. It is fighting for your life. It's not you have time to completely draw out. You don't have time to aim. You don't have time to do any of that because your assailant is on top of you. They are laying blows on you. They are attacking you at the time. Do you know how to take care of that problem, that issue, and that situation right then and there? And that is where the training on shooting from retention comes in. Excuse me, I dropped something. All right. Now, shooting from retention isn't martial arts. It isn't knife fighting. It isn't any of that other stuff. It's when everything else has gone wrong and now you're actively being attacked. So when I train shooting from retention, we train probably the first or at least 75% of it without a firearm. And we probably train another 20% with an airsoft pistol because it is so easy to shoot yourself or somebody else while training this. But it is a necessary action to train. Did a big one down in Florida, taught a lot of people in one particular group the shooting from retention, and there would have been a lot of holes in pants and a lot of holes in body parts when they started training it. That's why you only train it with an empty gun, or you only train it with an airsoft gun or simunitions or no gun at all. Because it's down and dirty. You are fighting somebody when doing this. So the quickest definition I have for shooting from retention is actively defending yourself, protecting your firearm while being brutally attacked by somebody else. And it doesn't have to be from the front. It can be from the rear. It could be from the side. But it's a situation that everybody needs to train on. And I'm more than happy to have other people comment on this one. It's not something you'll see at a beginner's class, and most likely not something you'll see at an intermediate class, but it's something that people should be trained on, no matter their skill level. Maybe not at beginner. Obviously not at beginner, because beginner, you're just learning how to function with a firearm. But you are drawing a weapon from your chosen position. It could be ambidextrous, strong side, weak side, shoulder holster, chest rig, any way you carry it, even from your ankle, it's going to be down and dirty. You're not aiming. You're not even fully drawing or going to a full stance. You're basically pulling an old cowboy western style shot. It's at your hip. It's right outside your chest rig. So when I wear my chest rig, if I'm shooting from retention from my chest rig, I am pulling and turning that weapon, pulling and turning, and I'm turning my body so I don't shoot myself. It is that close to you. But shooting from retention, I would love to throw up a video, but I don't have one. Don Logan might have it still. Anybody that was in the training course might have it still, but I cannot find the video. There's a big one on my website. There's a whole article that I wrote on it years ago on shooting from retention. And so go to theshootersrest.com and go to, I don't know, there's a tab there for it. All the articles I've ever written are on there. But it's down and dirty fighting. So if y'all give me 1 minute, I gotta breathe for a second. Sorry, guys. It is allergy season here in Georgia. And yeah, that was nothing y'all wanted to see. Oh. So, hi, Rachel. Hope you guys are doing fine. Rachel was in my training class for shooting from retention. She understands exactly what I was saying about possibly shooting yourself. So, yeah. So I'm back. I can sort of breathe. Allergy season sucks here in Georgia. So, anyway, so that's where we're at. Make sure you guys look into it. That is a down and dirty fighting with firearms thing. It is a down and dirty self-protection thing with firearms. And it's brutal. You are getting hit, you are hitting somebody else, but you are defending yourself, you're defending your weapon to draw it and engage with it. And that's important. So that's just one thing that you need to look into for training. I'm sure I can elaborate a little more if I had videos, which I don't anymore for some reason. So, and also you have to say, congratulations, Ohio, becoming constitutional carry. It's important. Everybody knows where constitutional carry is. I believe that's 35 states now that has constitutional carry. I'm still, every time I do a show, my computer tells me it's done an update. Sorry. I don't know how to turn off the notification. I am not the most tech savvy guy on the planet. So, all right. So here's where we're at. We still have the ticket or the sticker thing, which nobody's answered yet. I don't see anybody posting in here. 380 the same as 9 mil? Is 40 cal the same as 10 millimeter? Is 9 by 21 the same as a 9 millimeter parabellum? Important things to know, important things to understand. So comment, and whoever gets 2 out of the 3 with the best answers, 2 out of the 3 with the best answers. The third one is the kicker if there's a tie, because nobody quite 9 by 21 is not the most popular round on the planet. It's kind of obsolete, kind of unheard of. So if you can answer those questions, I'll send you a sticker. So I know, trying to get rid of my stickers. Then I can order more stickers. See, that's how it works. So that was the bit of training knowledge and hoopla that I've got going on here. And I know we talked about different shooting scenarios when we talked about training. Another company that I follow on Facebook put out a picture, and it is a show that when we're on Blog Talk Radio, we talked about. We did three episodes just on this topic, and they're bringing it up again, and that is home defense and having a home defense plan. Every day, I would say every day, at least one homeowner is faced with the decision to shoot the intruder, and at the same time shoot who is ever in the room behind the wall that the intruder's against. And that is my biggest part of preaching home defense plans, is understanding the layout of your home, the layout of where your beds are in your home, where your kids, dogs, family members are going to be inside your home. Most likely place they're going to be in those rooms if something goes bump in the night and you have to answer with deadly force. We've talked about in the past the best gun for home defense. We've talked about the best rounds for home defense. And we've all come to the conclusion there is no right answer. There is pros and cons for all of it. Shooting with a 9mm still goes through the perpetrator and the wall. Shooting with a shotgun, it doesn't matter what you're using. It's going through the perpetrator and the wall. So that is why doing a no kidding layout of your home and figuring out at what angles you could actually engage a perpetrator if you had to inside your home. Know where your windows are, knows where your doors are, know where your corners are, know where the other members of your family are inside your home at any given time to the best of your knowledge, so that you can have a better idea of whether you can engage that perpetrator. I'm lucky. I know where my dogs are going to be if somebody's in the house attacking the people in my house. Don't have kids at the house anymore. They don't live here, so I don't have to worry about it. I know where my wife will be if somebody's in the house at night. I'm lucky. But I still have an idea in my head by doing a drawn layout of the floor plan of my home, where my doors and windows are, because I also want to know what egress or entrance and exits may be used by the perpetrator getting in and out of the home. Like I said, they're not going to get far. Dutch Shepherds will probably rip them apart before they get too far. So So Don says, what type of ammo are they using in their firearms? And what type of ammo they're using in their firearms? If I know what type of ammo the perpetrators are using in their firearms, we're screwed. But I know what ammo I'm using, and I know what ammo my wife's using, and I know what the capabilities are. So that might answer that question. And then my lovely wife, who's watching out there in the internet land, it could also be where to place your guns in the RV or a tent when staying in campgrounds. Yes, that is something that I have been thinking about a lot more lately, because we do a lot more camping. Well, glamping. Okay, we don't camp anymore. We glamp. We have air conditioning, heat, a refrigerator, a ginormous queen bed that's amazing. We don't camp anymore. Tents in our house are outlawed. No more tents. So yes, Don, the homeowner's ammo. It is good to know what ammo you, your spouse, or anybody else in your home will be shooting in the event of an altercation that you have to answer with deadly force in your home. For sure. Whenever I visit Don, he knows what ammo, what guns I keep, what guns I carry, and what ammo I'm using. Just for this reason. And it's not something I ever think about, but it is something that we just know. He's got a 40 or a 45, and he knows I got a 9 or a 45. That's what it's going to be. That's what's coming out the pipe every time. I ain't going to tell you what you're going to get hit with coming out in my house. It could be anything. It could be a freaking train wreck hitting you. You never know. It could be anything from 180 grain bear loads out of a 357 to a 50 cal. Just consider that before you break into our home. They're only going to find pieces of you. That's a good plan. So, as my wife was saying about RVs and tents, there is a whole lot more to think about if you're inside a RV park or a camping ground, having to engage in your home defense, where you lay your head down at night and you own it. So it's a tent, and you're sleeping there, and you're paying to stay there. That is your domain. That is your domicile. That is your home for that particular 5 minutes of time. For us in the camper, our camper, even while it's going down the road, in most states, is considered our home. So where do you draw the line of where you can engage an enemy coming into your home, and when you're in a camper or a tent? Tent's a little easy, but there's usually only one big giant door. You hear that zip, and you pull the gun, and you got it in their face before they're in your home. But also, they can just shoot you through the tent. Be cognizant of that. They kind of know where you're going to be when you're in a tent. I'll get to that in a second, Don. So, because it'll come up with this one too. Same with most RVs or campers have one door. Ours is a toy hauler. So the whole back is a door. You know, when we go, we take the bikes, we take the dogs, we have a good time. So we have a bigger camper, and we have, a way to drive things into it, which also makes a whole nother entrance point, even if we've closed it and locked it, but sometimes we leave it as a deck. We like to have a good time. But we kind of have to understand what's around our camper. Is there a camper behind our camper? Is there a camper to the right or left or in front of our camper? What is out there? When we set up, we have to know which direction we can actually engage somebody if we had to inside our camper, and not kill the people in the camper behind us, to our sides, or to our front. Generally, generally, at most places that we're at, we can safely engage from our bedroom through the entire camper through the rear and not have to worry about hitting another camper. Unless we're at like some big giant RV resort or Jackalope campground in Wyoming, which behind us is the freaking interstate. A whole nother rigmarole. So for us, Don's question or statement, you stated ammo because homeowner doesn't need over-penetration at home to exit outside of home for innocent bystanders. For us in the camper or even in our home, that is a huge thing because I have, lucky for us, we're in a 2-story and the houses to our right and left are 1-story and there's nothing behind me. Nothing a bullet can go through behind me. So in my home, my ammo selection isn't as big of a deal, well, as long as I'm upstairs, as it is in our camper. I am more inclined to use a shotgun in my camper because once it goes through the wall, shotgun shot has a lot less velocity than, say, a bullet. So once it goes through our fiberglass walls, the shot is falling off a lot quicker and may not be able to penetrate through the sidewall of the camper next to us as easily as, say, I use a heavy copper round. Not saying it won't, saying it has a less likely ability to do so. I'm not shooting slugs in my camper. That would be just the dumbest idea I've ever had in my life. Unless there's a bear out there trying to rip the camper apart, then I'll shoot a slug right through the wall. I don't care. Because we camp places, there's grizzly bears, and those things are crazy. They will kill you without thinking because they want your food because some other idiot has trained them to know that you are food or associated with it. There. I've spoken my piece on grizzly bears. You know, because I like grizzly bears. So, all right. Oh, I just clicked on the wrong thing. Give me a second. No, where are you? That one. There you go. Make sure you guys are sharing all our shows out to all your friends. Go to our Facebook page. This is at The Shooter's Rest TV. It's on the CTW TV network, and it's all over the Book of Face or Facebook or whatever you want to call it. It's on the YouTube, on Twitch through CTW TV network. It's all over the place. It's what we do. Sorry, I am peeling and itching so badly I can't hardly stand it. You know, a lot of sun will do that to you. But so ammunition, firearm choice, and a plan are some of the things you must think about if you're buying a gun for home defense. And yes, I'm going to say it. There are guns you buy strictly for home defense. You can use it for other things, but in your mind, that one will be your primary go-to for defending your home. That's what you need to think about, and that's what you build your home defense plan around. And that's what you tell your spouse, hey, this is what we're using. This is why. You develop the plan together so everybody's on the same page. They can see it in their mind. Hey, if this happens and they're coming up the stairs, step 1, release the dogs. Step 2, get the gun. Step 3, determine the threat. Step 4, dispatch the threat in the manner that's necessary to get rid of the threat. And here in the state of Georgia, if you're in my house and you even have a freaking screwdriver in your hand, I'm going to shoot you. And I'm going to win in court because my home is my castle. And the same goes for my car and the camper, or if I'm on my motorcycle. Just saying, if you're in my home, I'm going to get you. So you don't even have to be in the home. You can be in the yard. If I determine that you're a threat in my yard, you're done. So make sure you know your laws when you're setting up your home defense plan. Yes, it is the same in Florida. Unfortunately, not yet in New York, but if you follow that one representative that's trying to take duty to retreat out of the clause, it might be coming to the state of New York at some point too. So that is why I say know your state laws. They're all different and they're all stupid because none of them should exist, but know them. All right. So let's talk a little bit about something that happens. We're going to give you a hypothetical scenario, and those of us that know the laws and other FFL holders that are in the chat, tell me if it was illegal or legal. You're with an organization at an event and they're raffling off a gun. The winner comes up and they hand him the gun and they take a bunch of pictures, and then the winner goes home with the gun. No 4473, no transfer through an FFL. I know the answer in this state. I know what the ATF says about it. But let's see what everybody else out there in TV land, internet land, streaming land, land of streams. They already have a land of lakes, so this is the land of streams. Says about if that scenario is legal. Raffle gun, win gun, take gun home. No 4473, no FFL transfer. So, I know I said I was only going to ask 3 questions this week. This is not for a prize. This is for a topic of conversation. So, Mr. Don, Dan, anybody? We did find out we're not allowed to do the Jeopardy song. It is copyrighted. So I don't have a song to do right now, but I could probably sing one, but everybody would quit watching because I sound like a dying toad when I sing. So my buddy Don, who is an FFL holder in Florida, says illegal in Florida, period. I know it's illegal in Georgia. Because even if that gun was privately owned, because private sales are still legal in Georgia, person to person, it would not be considered a private sale because it was raffled through an organization. That means it has to go through an FFL transfer. Even though that organization may do background checks on every single member and know that none of them are felons, it is still illegal to do. So keep that in mind if you guys are ever going to do a raffle or a gun giveaway, even if you are a private person. If you're doing it for yourself, I don't know what that legalities is. If you do it through an organization, the gun has to go through an FFL. It has to have a background check. It has to be on a 4473 because the ATF wants to know every little thing about everybody's details in life because government. I mean, that's all I can say. The topic of conversation is this. Even if it is for a good cause, it's everything has to be the up and legal. I will never ever in my life do another raffle that has to do with firearms on my show. I did one with Blog Talk Radio when I was on Blog Talk Radio, and it became a hassle. So I will not ever do a firearms giveaway or a firearms raffle, any of that. because it becomes a heck of a hassle, and legalities are crazy. That, and community. Yeah, Don remembers. Yeah, it was a hassle. And it wasn't the winner that was a hassle. It wasn't our act of trying to raffle this off that was a hassle. It was the book of face and legalities and the ATF that made everything a hassle. So we won't do that here. If I'm going to do a raffle of any type, it'll be for the money for you to go out and buy a firearm. If I did something like that, or free Cerakoting or something. At some point, we'll probably do something like that, but I will not give away a single gun on this show. It is not worth the headache for you, for me, for CTW TV Network, the FFL involved, or the ATF. It's not worth it anymore. So that's my disclaimer. We're not giving away a gun. We might give away some scopes and some ammo and some other stuff, whatever we can get away with legally. Or we might raffle off the money to buy a gun. We can do that because that's legal. But I sure as I can't buy it at a store and then raffle it off and just send it to you or give it to you. So let's talk about the ATF for a minute. My favorite, least favorite topic in the world: alcohol, tobacco, and firearms. Sounds like a great store, but it's still Alphabet Soup Agency. So, the ATF agents that are on the force, 90% of them are legitimately awesome people. 90%. So I don't hate the agents. There might be a few. Yes, Don, we have to. I have to put it out there. Because everybody knows I hate Alphabet Soup agencies interfering with my freedom, and this happens to be one. I have to say, I don't hate the agents that are in the ATF. Go control the alcohol, which is uncontrollable. Go control the tobacco, which is uncontrollable, but leave my firearms out of it. I don't understand why alcohol and tobacco have to be regulated and taxed either. I can make it in my backyard. I can grow tobacco and roll cigarettes. I can make alcohol. I can do all of that in my backyard. Do I think the stuff you go to the store and buy? Sure, tax it. Put sales tax on. I don't care. But don't tell me I can't make it. That is their job. They're going to come for you or whatever they say they're going to do. I mean, heck, if you've got a full auto that you don't have registered, they're not going to charge you with a gun crime. They're going to charge you with tax evasion because of a $200 tax stamp. So I don't hate the agents. Like I said, 90% of them are awesome, awesome people. I've met a bunch of them. They are cool. They will talk with you. They will tell you off the record what they think about the laws they're being told to enforce. And like I said, 90% of them will think it's all BS. But at the same time, their job is to enforce the laws on the books. But when you bring up that 90% of what they're being told to enforce are not actual laws on the books, they kind of turn red and like, oh, you're absolutely correct. So, NFA Act is a law. 1935, 1986, all that crazy stuff. They're laws. It's a law, and amendments to the law, and revoted on by legislature, and it's all stupid and should have been thrown out with the Supreme Court. I'm just going to put it out there. It's stupid, but they're laws. Trying to define a trigger as a machine gun is not a law. Trying to define a rifle stock as a machine gun, not a law. It doesn't fit the definition of a machine gun as written in the law, so therefore it cannot be illegal. Trying to say a brace for a pistol that does not designed to be on your shoulder, fired from your shoulder, since it's not designed to be shoulder fired, whether that's what the end user uses it for or not, it still cannot be illegal. The design is to be a brace that goes around your arm. Wasn't originally designed to go against your shoulder. People use it that way, but you can't say, hey, that's now a rifle or an SBR because you put it against your shoulder. So don't think that because I do not like the ATF or all the 3-letter alphabet agencies that decide they want to infringe upon my freedoms that I do not like the agents. They're cool. Most of them. I've had some really good conversations with them. They'll talk to you. They'll explain things. They'll tell you things in confidence or off to the side, off the record, that they won't back in public because they'll lose their jobs. And being an ATF agent actually pays pretty well because it's a federal job. So there is that. We're not going to talk about the FBI. No, I'm not talking about female body inspectors. I'm talking about that 3-letter agency that runs out of the Hoover building. They are doing things they shouldn't be doing to back up the ATF or to do the things the ATF won't do. So, but just remember this. The NFA applies to all American citizens. It doesn't matter if they're law enforcement. If I can't own it, they can't own it. If I have to register it, they have to register it. The agency itself does not have to register it. But just because the guy's a cop doesn't mean he can walk into a NFA, a store that sells NFA items, suppressors, full autos, any of it, and just buy one off the shelf. They have to have a law letter to purchase anything for their department. So suppressors that are not registered through the NFA or pay tax stamps have to be registered to the department with a law letter and a bunch of other stupid paperwork. So this BS of, oh, he's a cop, he can have whatever he wants. No, he can't. Well, he can, but he has to go and pay for it correctly. He has to do the 4473. He has to do the tax stamp. He has to do the fingerprints. He has to do all of it. So let's not get that twisted. Flipping blundering. Okay, I'm guessing that's blundering. It's Don, so it has to be blundering. But I do like that word. That one's funny too. But there's that. All right, and then I read something here in my hometown, and it regards a road that I drive down every time I go see the horses. And I'm wondering, out of all these arrests and all these weapons seized, how many were actually illegal? Because in Georgia, it takes a lot for a gun to be illegal. So, Twiggs County deputies have set up a roadblock on I-16 with a fake DUI checkpoint to drive people that were doing stuff illegal down another road where the actual checkpoint was. So already there's an argument for entrapment from the way I was reading it, but that has nothing to do with this show. What it does have to do with this show is not only were they looking for DUIs and drugs, which I say yes, if they're DUI or doing drugs, get them off my freaking road so I don't get run over on my motorcycle. My wife doesn't get run over on her motorcycle. But what caught me was we've also seized 31 illegal weapons. Had nothing to do with arrests. Out of all those arrests, those 31 weapons had nothing to do with the people they arrested. So I'm trying to read what those people were doing to be considered, have those weapons considered illegal? Were they simply in the car? Not illegal in Georgia. You can keep it concealed in Georgia. You don't even have to tell them you have one in Georgia unless they ask you. So there is an overreach going on. And if these guys were drunk and had a gun, yeah, take that stuff. Get them out. Get the gun away from them. They were on drugs and had a gun? Yeah, sure, take it. But if you arrested 28 people for DUI and or drugs in their car, but seized 31 weapons from 31 different individuals, some of those arrests or some of those seizures don't make sense to me. So that's what I'm getting at. Make sure you are doing everything in your power to keep your rights, your firearms, as legally as possible, because there's a lot of entities out there that would love for you to not have them anymore, to the point where they'll make up laws to try to take them from you. So, all right. So we have 14 minutes, well, 13 minutes left. I'm going to read these questions off one more time, and I need an answer. All right? I need an answer. Is a 380 the same as a 9mm? Is a 40 cal the same as a 10mm? Is a 9x21 the same as a 9mm parabellum? At this point, if anybody knows the answer, throw it up there in the chat. And if you're my buddy Don or my buddy Dan, explain why they're the same or not the same. Because you guys have more intimate knowledge than some people. And this is all about learning. So, these are important questions. Very, very important questions. And you'll know why once you know the answers. So, remember, it is for one of these really pretty TSR stickers. See? Yeah. I got a stack of them. See? Whole stack. And they kind of curled. But I got a stack. We'll give away one here or there. Sell one here and there. You know, having fun with them. So, I know Dan's there. I know he's there. I know Don's there. So, but like I said, those are important questions. And each week I'm going to do a question to the audience that has to do with what this has to do with. General uncommon knowledge. That's what I'm calling it. It's general knowledge, but it's uncommon knowledge because for some reason people aren't teaching this anymore. Because numerous times in the last week I've been told that certain things are the same as other things, and it's not right. So, if we don't get an answer while we're live, I'll go back and check it again while it's not live, and we'll go from there. All right, enough singing. Like I said, I sound like a dying toad. So I'm hoping next week I have a nice long range shooter, 22 long range shooter coming on the show. He's a disabled vet. He's one of my boys. He came on the show a couple times when we were doing on Blog Talk. He hasn't answered me yet whether he's coming on the show, so I can't say his name yet, but yeah. He needs to hurry up and tell me he's coming on the show so we can do this. He shoots 22 long range. He shoots regular long range, like 6.5, 6mm. Goes all over the United States and shoots. And a few years ago, he was doing it from a wheelchair. So he is a bona fide American badass. I'm going to go ahead and say it. 100% amazing dude. So hopefully he comes on the show. And I'm also trying to get the legendary Bill Poor back on. give us an update on how his long range shooting's doing down there in Texas. He also is forging knives and doing an outstanding job. But the 27th of March, which was what, yesterday? Yeah, yesterday was 3 years since you've been on the show. So when he fired the world record, 5,800 something yards with a Shytech 408 round. All right, Don Logan has answered the question. 380 is a 9mm Kurtz or short 9mm Luger, and 9x20 or is a 9mm Kurtz or short 9mm Luger, and 9x21 are the same bore, but the 9x21 is 2 millimeters longer. Yes, 2 millimeters longer than the 9mm Parabellum, which is 9x19. 40 cal is the same as 10 millimeter, same bore as the 10 millimeter, but 10 millimeter is longer and hotter, designed for hunting. But was the 10 millimeter designed for hunting? So this is why I said mention the FBI. So the 40 caliber round was designed after some FBI agents couldn't handle a 10 mil, so they cut it short, used the same bullet, packed less powder in it, and basically made it 10 millimeter light and called it a 40 cal because their hands hurt. Soft hands. Yes, the 10 millimeter. I was leaving them out. I'm not going to leave them out. I'm going to call them out anyway. Soft hands. And then, there it is. 10 millimeter is great for bears, especially in Alaska. What kind of bears are we talking about here? I mean, there are different kinds. But yes, 10 millimeter is a great hunting round. I want one for hunting. I used to have one. No longer have one. Big bears. So fuzzy wuzzy bears. So I like a 10 millimeter for hunting. I like a 10 millimeter for just about anything because they're fun to shoot. I mean, they're 10 millimeter. I will be honest and tell everybody, I don't own a single 40 cal. I will probably never own a 40 cal because I don't have soft hands and I'd rather have a 10 mil. I have a lot of 9 mil because I can, ammo is readily available. I can shoot it incredibly fast. I can steal the other guy's ammo more easily and more go in a magazine. But my preferred round's a 45 because slow and fat does the job just as quickly. Yes, 45 ACP. That is why I have so many 1911s, because I love the 45 ACP and I love that platform. But I'm not so dumb to think that facing a guy with 17 rounds in a mag and only having 8 rounds in my mag, even though I shoot better, which I can guarantee, it's still not the greatest option. But you'll never find me. You will never find me without at least 34 rounds of ammo on my person. And that's just to get me back to my truck. So now I'm not going to throw that up there for the whole world to see. Because 9 and or 40, I carry at least 122, at least one 9 mil, and at least one 45. Maybe not all on my person at the same time, but I at least have access to all three at all times. So, and that's, like I said, that is to get me to go back to my truck for more firepower. So, be it a shotgun, a rifle, more ammo, any of that. So, That is a show for another time. So I believe that Dan is doing at 8 o'clock, 2000 Eastern Time, Compass Trails and Woods tonight. 8 o'clock, CTW TV Network. He says, yepper. So make sure you tune in for that. I will guarantee it's going to be a more organized show than I have because he's Dan and he has everything. So, without further ado, I would give Don the sticker, but he already has about 100 of them. But if he wants one, I'll send it to him or just bring it to him next week. So, next week, I am hoping to be doing this show live from Barefoot Knives and Gun again. It depends on how the cards stack in our favor as far as Monday or being there Tuesday, but I hope I'm doing it from there. We will see. That's the plan. So you should see somebody standing right here. Imagine another face right here. See? There. Yeah, we can do that. So anyway, without further ado, I bid you good night. And we will see you all next week, 6 o'clock. Don't forget Dan's show tonight, Compass Trails and Woods at 8 o'clock. Y'all have a wonderful night.